Hi, this is Joe again with another review. And like I said in my previous review of what I'm doing on the seasons of Happy Days is on DVD. And to on the fact that season 5 is going to finally be released on DVD on May 20th. And the previous review did season 1. Of course, this time we're going to be doing, of course, season 2. And this is the first season of the show. It is in 1974 and 75. And of course, this season is where, in a way, things changed in the course of the series. What I mean by that is, like I said, it's only the first full season with 20. Anything I have? That's it. 12. 18. 23 episodes, so it's a full season episode of 23 shows. What I mean by things changing is the fact that Henry Winkler become more and more part of the cast, and of course halfway through, or more than halfway through the second season, that's when they decided to do a new technique. What I mean by a new technique is before then, shows that were comedies, particularly during the 50s and the 60s. Except for those shows who, like The Honeymooners or I Love Lucy, or it was filmed in front of live in the studio audience, and throughout the 60s, so the late 50s and the 60s, when shows were not being live anymore, they were being taped. They were doing canned laughter, and that's what was happening during the first year and a half of Happy Days. And of course, during the halfway through this season, there's an episode which is on, in case you don't have, it opens up like this, and here's where, this was set up as, on the third disc, is an episode, or the first episode of the third disc is an episode called Fonzie's Getting Married, which aired on January 14th, 1975. And of course, that's the episode that was live, taped from a live audience. And that was like a new format for television shows to have to videotape a show in front of an audience. Before then, any other show that was from a live audience was broadcast live on television, like The Honeymooners was, and I Love Lucy. But for that time, it was not taped, it was actually live television in those days. Because they didn't have videotape then. When in the 70s, we have videotape, they decided to videotape in front of an audience. And they taped this episode called Fonzie's Getting Married, and you know that show was going to be, or that particular episode was going to be a big hit, because it showed something like the Fonzie mystique. I mean by that is the host of the first episode when you see Fonzie going over to the jukebox in Arnold's, pound on it, and make the music stop. And of course, later on he will hit it again, and the music will come back on. Of course, that became one of Fonzie's trademarks throughout the whole course of the series, but hitting the jukebox and making the music go off and on at will. Every time he would hit the jukebox, it would either go on or off. And of course, the other big sequence was in that episode when Fonzie tells the gang in Arnold that he was getting married, and he talks to some of the guys in the bathroom, which also became a staple, because there was a few times when they were in the bathroom in earlier episodes, not only in season 2 but also of course in season 1. But it was the first time where Fonzie's doing like in his office. He called the bathroom in Arnold's his office. So he made a list of things that he wants to look for in a wife. And he gets to a list of no mustache, no and of course it comes to the list of no criminal record and never been in jail. And of course yes, someone says, must be untried. And of course he says, what does that mean, untried? And so she's gotta be pure, she's gotta be, and of course, Party says, what do you mean untried? Of course, Ralph says, dummy. That means she's never been in court. Of course, that line got a big laugh, and of course, finally does explain that means she's gotta be a virgin. And of course, I think that's gonna be one of the first times I've heard of primetime television, or primetime episode, using the word virgin. You know, I don't think I've ever heard before in any other primetime series, or even in soap operas. I think maybe in soap operas might have used the word virgin at that time, but not on a primetime series. And of course, they found out Howard, one of the episodes, Howard finds out who Fonzie's fiance is, and she happened to be a stripper called the Lone Stripper, and she had the bit with the mask and the silver bullets like Lone Ranger does. So of course, they eventually broke off the engagement. But of course, like in other parts of the series, there's one particular episode called The Big Money, which I forgot which disc it's on. For example, yeah, it's it's on the second disc called Big Money, and it stars Dave Mann, from the Partridge Family, and he also starred from time to time on Alice. Of course, the episode Big Money dealt with the game show scandal of the 1950s. Because when practically every game show, starting with, of course, with the game 21, was fixed. So they gave Richie did well on his own without help, from the producers of the show. Then when he was about to go up to the big big money prize, they gave him the answer which one was, which question and which answer the last question is, and Richie says, forget it, I'm not going to do it. So he asked his father what, Mr. C, what he's going to do. He said, hey, should I cheat or should I go for it? I said, how do you know that people are cheating? I said, this one cheated, this one cheated. This one gave the answers to them, they gave the answers to this contestant and that contestant. And of course, Howard couldn't believe that stuff. So of course, Richie decides to be Mr. Goody Two Shoes and not cheat. That's the big money episode. Of course, look out for the whole series. There's one particular episode called "Wish Upon a Star," which stars pre-Charlie's Angels. Forgot her. She replaced Farrah Fawcett. And Diane Ladd, or not Diane Ladd. No, Cheryl Ladd was one of this episode where she played like a 1950s Hollywood star, kind of like in the Annette Funicello type, where she only did like these dramatic teen movies. And then of course you found out that she was actually, spoiler, she was married. Her character was married in the episode. But of course, look out throughout the whole series when you see Linda Pearl. For your Matlock fans, Linda Pearl played Richie's girlfriend in several episodes in season 2. And the funny part of it is that later on in the series, after when Howard left to direct movies, she became Fonzie's girlfriend for a few episodes. He was a single mother with a young son, and I think they eventually broke up. I think she moved away or something, and I forgot exactly how she left the show the second time. And then of course eventually she got a part on Matlock, playing Matlock's daughter during the first season. So for some reason she doesn't stay very long on television shows for some reason. Anyway, you can look for her throughout several episodes, and also this particular season has the very first Halloween episode, which is haunted. Ralph decides to have a Halloween party in this supposedly haunted house in the neighborhood. You always have this one haunted house, and he did in this particular episode. So you have that. It's called Haunted. And of course, you also have other characters. So Sickle, he had an episode called Fiction and Fins, where you have a band called Flash Cadillac, and the Connell Kids make an appearance in one episode called Fiction and Fins. And also you can look for Dee Khan, who was in The Grease, in an episode called Kiss Me Swiftly, who plays a friend of Fonzie's girlfriend. So you have that episode. You have several good episodes. I mean, episodes are better than episodes you had in the first season. But of course, you also have, this is also the last season when you have the mysterious older brother of the Cunninghams, whose name was Chuck, and they eventually rolled him out because after this season you don't see him anymore. I forget what was exactly his last episode, but if you watch the episodes again, you probably figure out it's probably they quit. It's also the first Christmas episode as well in this one. Guess who's coming to Christmas? I think that's one where Richie finds out that Richie finds out that Fonzie's spending Christmas alone, and you see Chuck in that episode. But the last actual episode, and also for another episode, a couple of episodes we'll talk about is back to back. One says Cruising with Richie, Potsy, and Ralph. Well, Cruising, and you see Maureen McCormick, who of course just came off of finishing doing a little show called The Brady Bunch. So you have that episode, and also you have the Howdy Doody show, which of course is also a big guest star in the early episodes. For those of you who don't know who Howdy Doody was a big children's show during the 50s and about I think what year when it actually was canceled. I think it was like 71 or 72 when it was canceled. I think it was one of the first nationally broadcast children's show, and it was canceled. What Howdy Doody was a marionette, and the real star of the show was Buffalo Bob, Buffalo Bob Smith was the guy's name, and he also provided the voice of Howdy Doody. He didn't move the puppet, pull his strings, but he provided Howdy Doody's voice. And also, of course, also famous for having the clown, Clarabelle the Clown, who never spoke. But when the series was canceled, the last episode, Clarabelle spoke to all the kids. He says cheerfully, "Goodbye, kids," in the last episode. So this time they capitalized on the Howdy Doody show. It's only been canceled for a couple of years, but it was in reruns in the time that the episode was made. So it wasn't hard of a stretch to see Howdy Doody on Happy Days that time. And of course, the big thing was that Richie tried to get a picture of Clarabelle with all his makeup on for the school paper. And of course, he did, and of course, Richie Cunningham rips up the picture and decides not to send it in. So you have a few episodes, so it's, I think, better the second season than the first one. But of course, the old stripper one, well, Fonzie's Getting Married episode pretty much changed the format. Instead of setting it around the Cunningham family, they set it around them and Fonzie. Because before then, it was just around Richie interacting with Fonzie and all the other guys. And of course, they wanted to make the show around Fonzie. And we titled it Fonzie's Happy Days. Game of Thrones says no, it's about Richie. And like I said in my previous review, as long as Henry Winkler says, to his credit, that as long as Ron Howard is on the show should be around him. And he should be the starring character. And of course it was, and continued that trend in this season. Of course, in the third season, it's going to change a little bit, have more Fonzie more on the off and the hero of the series. If you want to get to when we discuss season 3, which whenever I get to do it, will be the next video I want to do. So, thank you for watching. Please click on like the video, please comment on please subscribe to the channel. Please, link this video onto your Facebook pages. Thanks for watching.